Hi, and welcome to S for Science. And are transgenic foods good or bad? Let's start by explaining what a transgenic food is. Well, transgenic food is that food that comes from an organism whose genetic material has been altered with introduction of genes from another species. Let's see an imaginary example. Let's imagine that we have a corn plantation that gets infected by a fungus. It's also known that there is a jellyfish that produces a substance that's capable of destroying that fungus. What can be done? Well, we take the gene from the jellyfish that produces that substance that eliminates the fungus, then we take the corn seed and insert the gene that produces that substance in the DNA of the corn. Then we plant that seed and the corn that is born will be resistant to that fungus. Now, a real example is the papaya crisis in Hawaii that happened in 1990. What happened was that a virus arrived on the island that severely attacked the papayas. It was so deadly that it killed off 94% of the papaya production in the islands. Then, a variety of papaya resistant to the fungus was introduced, which allowed in a very short time to recover the papaya production in the islands. Currently, in Hawaii, 77% of the papaya production comes from genetically modified organisms. Generally, there is a very bad view of genetically modified organisms. A recent survey carried out in Spain shows that approximately 90% of the population is in favor of eliminating GMOs, and only 10% in favor of using them. Now let's see their advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages of GMOs? Well, one of the advantages is that they produce an improvement in the industrial process. Before, to obtain a certain variety of a plant, we needed years of artificial selection to obtain that variety. Now, with genetic engineering, it is possible to obtain that variety in just days. New materials have appeared. For example, it has been possible to make a bacteria produce biodegradable plastics, or even insulin, that is, as you may know, a very important hormone in human metabolism. Before, its production was very expensive. Now, simply by introducing certain genes into the DNA of the bacteria, it is possible to produce that substance relatively cheaply. For consumers, new foods have appeared. Farmers are one of the most favored groups by the introduction of transgenic foods. Why? Because they greatly increase productivity. Because GMOs are resistant to droughts, to pollution, and plagues of insects, fungi, and viruses. This also has helped in the fight against hunger because many countries that previously couldn't access food because of their high price now can, since transgenics considerably reduce the price of production. In the environment, transgenics have also been a great advantage. But why? Because it's no longer necessary to use pesticides or insecticides. This has allowed native organisms to return to the field, and the ecosystems are recovering. But what are the drawbacks of transgenic foods? Well, one of them is the possible appearance of new allergies. This hasn't been demonstrated, they simply have postulated as a possible consequence. A great disadvantage is that the seeds of transgenics cannot be planted, which makes the farmer constantly depend of the supplier. Another drawback is the possible genetic contamination that occurs between transgenic and non-transgenic plantations. There has also been mentioned that the bacteria could incorporate the genes that have been implemented in the transgenics, thus making the bacteria potentially dangerous. But this hasn't been demonstrated. The great drawback of transgenics is that there is some uncertainty about what effects they can have on the human body. Some say they are harmless, while others attack them saying that not enough studies have yet been carried out to show that they are not bad. I should note here that the World Health Organization says that genetically modified organisms available in the market have passed much more quality tests than a normal product, and that it's very unlikely that a transgenic available on the market will be harmful to human health. And well, that's it. I hope you liked it a lot, and I would really like you to leave me in the comments what's your opinion about the subject if you're for or against, or if after watching the video your opinion has changed. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.